Well, good morning. It's a great morning, an interesting morning. We had a little run through on this yesterday afternoon and had about 30 of the university staff here, and every one of them promised me there would be no rain on Friday. But we had a little storm. We've got some clouds coming, so we're going to talk fast. And as you look around, you can see that not only is this facility beautiful and very special to our university, but we're actually doing some high-tech new thoughts on this program as we're trying to grow grass now on asphalt and concrete, and as our hydro seed that went down yesterday is washed into the parking lot this morning. So it's always something. Well, good morning and welcome to the dedication of our North Village apartments. The university is very proud to bring these online and make this long time dream a reality for our university. And some of these apartments, to go off script for just a moment, are actually a product of weather and adversity, because it was just 2 years ago this month when we had a significant flood here in Midland that caused us to see that our South Village apartments were no longer viable, and from that, decisions were made to move a little more expeditiously with the second phase of North Village. So the weather has actually helped us in a certain sense. Now, I'd like to also welcome today to all of you that are here, but I know we have some of the members of our Parents Association that have joined us today. They're having their annual meeting, and they're going to be dedicating a facility that their philanthropy and their leadership has led in the Truan Courtyard later in the day. So we're glad to have our parents and all the support that they give our students and our university. Thank you. Northwood University is committed to first-class campus experience in every way, and it's really through the generosity of our donors that we've been able to make this possible. Our Board of Trustees, our staff, our faculty, our administration are all dedicated to providing our students with high quality of life in their living and learning spaces here on campus, and we're confident that as you tour these facilities today, you're going to see that's exactly what this is: modern, contemporary accommodations for our students. And you don't build a project like this without a lot of heroes, and I'm going to talk about heroes most of the day today, because there's a lot of people that have made this a reality in a relatively short period of time. And the first group that I want to talk with you about our heroes would be the members of our Board of Trustees that are with us here today. Early on, our board grasped the need to update the campus in many, many ways, and they supported the administration as we did a master plan of the campus, and particularly looked at the housing and food service operations and how they could change and transform to better assist our students. From that, every single residence hall room, all of our apartments are either improved dramatically or brand new on this campus in the last 3 years. So their leadership in pushing us to focus on housing has made a huge difference for our students and for our university. And the board was so impressed with the work of the first phase of North Village that they pushed ahead aggressively after that flood I spoke about, and allowed us to build the second phase about 2 years ahead of the original schedule that we had for this building. So we really are greatly appreciative to the leadership of our board. And the last thing I would say is I personally appreciate the consistency and the focus on what this university has been and is and will be tomorrow, in that our board continued to hold our feet to the fire and make sure that this facility was built without any state or federal funds and with absolutely no external debt on this project. It is fully funded and built through private donations. So I'm very pleased that our board continues to have that free market approach for our university. And to give you a little welcome and a little background from our Board of Trustees, I'd like to invite the chairman of our board, Dr. Al Zender from Frankenmuth, Michigan. Dr. Zender.
Thank you, Keith. Before we dedicate this new facility, and I would just remind everybody that behind me, just 10 short months ago, it was just a bare piece of dirt. And I want to congratulate the contractors, the builders, who really made this happen, because we're going to have students move in here in a relatively short period of time. And I did the math for myself personally, and if I take 3 units, I can live here cheaper than I can live at home. So I'm just not good. I'd like to thank everyone who has come out here today and celebrate this momentous occasion. It is really one more piece that makes Northwood a very vibrant community and sets us apart from other universities. And when we open a state-of-the-art facility like this, I'm going to introduce Jennifer Panning in a second, our vice chair. She was telling me her daughter goes here, that people are moving that are living off campus on campus. And it tells you a lot that when they're doing that, you've done something special. And that's what Northwood is all about, is doing things special for their students. I'd also like to thank all the members of our Board of Trustees that showed up here today. Graham Williams from, stand up, Graham? From Bloomfield Hills, and his wife Jennifer, Dan DeVos, Grand Rapids, and our vice chair, Jennifer Panning from Pinckney. Thank you for being here. And thank you for your continued support. Like he said, yeah, we learned early on that one of the deciding factors for new students is housing. And it makes it different for parents too. And once we saw phase 1, it became evident very quickly that we needed to do phase 2, and not only that, but improve our existing housing to make them attractive as well. And so thank you, Graham and Dan and Jennifer, for leading the charge in that, because I think we've done something really special here today. Lastly, I would like to thank Keith Priddy for his role in expediting this entire housing project and helping Northwood make the most of the student campus experience. And this is just a really special place that you're going to see today. So thank you, Keith. Thank you.
Well, a few years ago, before we started on the housing project, the first thing we did is to work with our students and to have them spend time with us in a number of different ways, doing surveys, doing focus groups, and a variety of different communications efforts. And then we actually took a number of our students on the road across the state of Michigan to look at other housing projects on college campuses, so that we could make sure that we were going to build the best practices and things that they needed and wanted in these facilities. You know, it had been 30 years since we built our last new housing on this campus. And I'm sure some of you, as I look through this audience, many of you are Northwood graduates that lived in some of our earlier generation housing, and you knew it was time for us to upgrade. Certainly the input we got from our students have made these facilities a lot better than they would have been without student input. But to give you a real sense from the student perspective, I'd like to call on one of our students to have her share in her own words what North Village has meant to her experience at Northwood University. Katie Pung-Gottschalk is from Beale City, not far away from here. She is a legacy student, meaning that her father was a graduate of the institution, so she knew a lot about our school long before she ever came here. She's part of a very unique program where she completed her Bachelor's of Business Administration degree in just 3 years and is finishing her Master's of Business Administration degree through the DeVos Graduate School in her 4th year. In fact, she'll be done in about 5 weeks. And I know after graduation, she's going to pursue a career in purchasing or project management, but her experience here on campus has been amazing. For someone that was so busy academically, she's been involved in virtually every student organization we have. So please welcome to hear about these facilities from a student's perspective, Katie Pung-Gottschalk. Katie?
Thank you. When I think of my experiences at Northwood University, the first word that comes to mind immediately is community. Northwood brings together a diverse group of people from many places who hold a sense of similar values. We want to make an impact on the world around us. Northwood has truly ingrained in me the importance of building relationships in my community, and North Village is an excellent example of the Northwood community at work. As a student at Northwood, I decided to move off campus for my sophomore year, similar to what Dr. Zender was explaining earlier. I quickly realized that this may not have been the best choice for me. Being a student that was eager to be involved in anything I possibly could be, as well as working in the church building, I discovered that I missed the convenience of living on campus. As soon as I heard about North Village, I quickly found a group of students that I would like to be roommates with. We were all very excited for this new opportunity, especially to have the chance to be part of the first group of students to live in this magnificent facility. After beginning my junior year, I was very happy to be on campus again and living in this beautiful community. North Village has been a great addition to our Northwood campus and will be enjoyed for many generations of students to come. On behalf of the student body of Northwood University, I would like to thank the generous donors who came together to make North Village a reality. You are all making a difference each and every day in the lives of students at Northwood, and we could not be more grateful for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Now, as you have a chance to tour these facilities, you're going to see that everything in here is well designed. It's modern. It has used long-lasting materials and really timeless design for this whole facility. And with our focus on the local community, this project has also had a positive impact on our redefining our boundaries of the university. Putting this on the north end of our campus has been very good to keep our campus contiguous, but also, since it runs adjacent to Sugnut Road, which may be finished at some point in the future, but is already completed off to the west, it has allowed us to have some direct exposure to the community, something that we welcome and want and feel very strongly about. And that is part of our strategy. It strengthens our ties in the community, and we very much appreciate that opportunity. This property that we're standing on today was acquired from the Midland Public Schools. And it was a transaction that I believe was a win-win transaction for both of us, this being across the proposed Sugnut Road extension. The school district really didn't want to have to police property beyond that street behind H.H. Dow High School, but it's really created an opportunity for us to work collaboratively with the public schools and particularly with H.H. Dow High School. And I know there's more partnerships that together we can do to benefit the whole community and both of our educational institutions. So I want to thank Superintendent Mike Sharrow and the Midland School Board for their assistance and their leadership in helping us with this project. Now, we've also had extraordinary support from the City of Midland throughout these projects. That's included Mayor Maureen Donker, the City Council, City Manager Brad Kay, and all of his staff. They have been very, very helpful to making these a reality, and particularly on the expedited timelines that we've talked about. So again, my thanks to all of the city staff for their great work in making this a reality. They too are heroes in the story of North Village housing. We had the good fortune to select architects a number of years ago, a firm called Tower Pinkster and Company. They happened to be from Grand Rapids. We had seen a lot of good work they had done at other academic institutions. And the thing that we really liked about Tower Pinkster is they listened so well. They heard what we were saying, what our students were saying, what we needed and wanted in a facility. And at the end of the day, they have given us beautiful styling. They have given us modern, safe, convenient facilities. But they've done all of that within the cost parameters that we had to have. So I want to thank the Tower Pinkster staff. I know Bill Zaski, you're here. Thank you on behalf of all of us to Tower Pinkster for your great work. You know, another set of heroes, and they truly have been heroic in the way we've gone about this second phase, is our general contractor, Triangle Associates, and all the subcontractors that have worked on these projects. They have done amazing work in a very short period of time. You've already heard us talk about that this is a 10-month project to do phase two. That wouldn't have been possible if all the contractor and the subcontractors hadn't come together and agreed, and out of the learning they had from phase one, that they could quickly execute on this project. And the beauty of it is that all of these housing projects have come in on budget or below budget and ahead of our scheduled time frame. So we can't thank Triangle enough. I know Craig Datema, the CEO, and Mitch Watt, the president, are here, along with the large team of people that have made that happen, and all the subcontractors who have really helped us to bring this project to fruition in such a first-class way. Thank you to all of you. Now, none of the great work of the architects and the contractors would have been possible if there wasn't significant teamwork within the university. And there's a whole lot of people that have helped to make this a reality for our university within a lot of different divisions of the university. But I'd like to single out just a few. Carl Steffen, if you would stand, and Dave Bender, Jess Fitzgibbons. Where's Jess? Jess is back over here. He's been living this project for the last few years. And there's somebody else that many wouldn't know, that she's done most of our design work on all of the construction that this campus has had through the years. So kind of as a matter of personal privilege, I'd like you to meet the individual that has had the most to do with our interior design work in this facility, and that's my wife, Gretchen. Gretchen, thank you so much for your beautiful work in this project. Now, because we're done early, and maybe we need to be even earlier with those clouds coming, but because we're done early with this facility, we have the good fortune that early next month we're going to have a number of the participants in the Dow Great Lakes Bay Classic Golf Tournament, the LPGA Golf Tournament that will be here in just a couple of weeks, are going to be living in these facilities while they're here competing in Midland, Michigan. So that's an exciting opportunity, another way our university can collaborate with the community. And you heard Katie say how much that community collaboration is important to us at Northwood. We want to be a great partner, and I think this group represents that. But the real heroes that we're here to honor today, among all of these people that I've just mentioned, are the donors that have made this a reality for us. And I want to introduce and talk about three individuals that truly are heroes in making this project a reality. That's Helen DeVos, Jim Coons, and Mort Harris. They've embodied the spirit of giving back to their communities and well beyond, and Northwood has been so fortunate to have them to be the beneficiary of their friendship and their philanthropy, and to really be an example to our students of the Northwood idea at work, demonstrated by their contributions in all sectors of our society. So let me begin by recognizing Helen DeVos. This building to my left is going to be named Helen DeVos Hall for her lifelong commitment to uplifting those around her. You know, in memory of her purposeful life, Mrs. DeVos's family have made a major contribution to the construction of this facility. Helen devoted her life to service to others and to her communities, and was an active member and contributor to many different Christian churches and organizations. She's been a generous supporter to the arts, to healthcare, and to education. And her civic and community involvement in her hometown of Grand Rapids includes being the honorary chairwoman for many, many years of the United States Marine Corps' Toys for Tot campaign, and her committee worked with Holland Home, a group of Christian retirement homes. She's the namesake of the Helen DeVos Children's Hospital at Spectrum Health in Grand Rapids, also the namesake of the Helen DeVos College of Education at Lee University down in Cleveland, Tennessee. And together with her husband, Rich, they have supported Christian education all over the country. The Rehoboth Christian School and the Grand Rapids Christian High School and at Calvin College and Hope College and so many other academic institutions that they have supported. Her many awards recognize her passion for the arts and for civic engagement and humanitarian causes and education particularly. And the fact that she sent her two oldest children here to study is a true tribute. They've both gone on to become distinguished alumnus of this university and outstanding business leaders as recognized by this university. In 1993, Helen was a recipient of our university's Distinguished Woman Award, and in that same year, she received the William F. Buckley Jr. Prize for Leadership in Supporting Liberty from the National Review Institute. When you hear about the many people and organizations that Helen served and the numerous accolades she earned over the years, it becomes apparent what was truly important to her. And this facility and her philanthropy are testament to her dedication to her community, her state, and to our nation. Rich and Helen DeVos were inspired to give back to higher education institutions, including Northwood, and they passed their philanthropic spirit on to their children and now on to their grandchildren. And here today, representing his mother and the family, is Dr. Dan DeVos, a Northwood University graduate and the chair emeritus of our Board of Trustees. Dan, would you join me at the podium?
Thank you. Thanks, Keith, and welcome everybody. Thank you all for coming to this very special event. And it's really a special day for the DeVos family as we unveil this beautiful new North Village complex and the space and namesake of my mother, Helen DeVos. Now, my mother would be very pleased to see her name on a facility like this at Northwood University. But on the other hand, she's always been a little shy about being out front with it. So she would be sitting in the back row, taking it all in. On the other hand, my father would be out front, waving his hands and saying, "Let's celebrate." And this seems like a great celebration here today. DeVos family has had the exceptional privilege of being associated with many years. You could look at it and say we go way back. 60 years ago, as you all know, Northwood was founded, which is just about exactly the same time Amway was founded. And around that time, my father had the opportunity to meet the founders of Northwood, Arthur Turner and Gary Stauffer. And the Northwood-DeVos family friendship started and grew from there. Now, our parents were really a perfect match. My mother was a teacher, and my father an entrepreneur. Needless to say, they were also a perfect match for Northwood, a university who teaches develop future leaders of a global free enterprise society and who develop entrepreneurial mindsets. As Keith mentioned, my siblings and I, we're fortunate that my parents instilled in us the same principles. As he mentioned, my brother Dick and myself, and also my daughter Cassandra, all graduated, are benefited from the Northwood University, and are proud to call Northwood our alma mater. Personally, I created a lifelong network of friends that I cherish, all starting here at Northwood. Just an example of that, and we and my roommates talk on a regular basis all the time. But since 1978, I was here from 1976 through 80. Since 1978, on Christmas morning, we started a conference call with all the roommates. 11 o'clock, Christmas Day, every day since 1978, we get on the phone. And we talk about lots of different things, but mostly we tell stories about the times we spent at Northwood. And so those are the type of friendships that I have been able to create. And I hope that current students find their own amazing lifelong network of people. And it could certainly start here right at North Village. And as you heard today, my parents both supported higher education at Northwood University, and they've always instilled with us the essence of giving back. And so it was with that same spirit that we dedicate this residential facility to my mother, Helen DeVos.
All right. Thank you, Dan. although he can't be here today, I wanted to give you a little background on Jim Coons, who is one of the other individuals who has helped us to build this facility. Jim has been extremely generous to his alma mater. He's a 1973 graduate, and his affinity for the school only grew from the time of his graduation. You could say he grew up in the automobile industry. His father was a dealer, and he grew up sweeping the floors and washing cars at the family dealership. He knew he was going to study automotive marketing at Northwood University, and today he serves as chairman of Coons Automotive Companies, which operates 22 dealerships with over 1,400 employees, generating over $1 billion in sales annually. And over his 45 years, he has sold more than 2 million vehicles up and down the East Coast. They're headquartered in Tysons Corner, Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C., and they are one of the largest privately held dealership organizations in the world. And it's no wonder Jim has received many honors for his great work, including the coveted Time Magazine Dealer of the Year award. Jim's parents instilled in him the importance of always working for the community, and he has made significant contributions to of various resources to the United Way, to the Muscular Dystrophy Association, to the Darrell Green Youth Foundation, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and to the Pediatric Oncology Department at Johns Hopkins University Hospital. Jim has also given back to his alma maters and was responsible for a new athletic facility at his high school and a library in his parents' name. And he gave the first gift that created the Timberwolf Learning Center on this campus that so many of our students have benefited from. Today, we recognize him for his substantial contribution to this facility. Now, Jim can't be here today, but I know he credits Northwood with helping to build his leadership skills while he was a student here. And not only build his leadership skills, but as Dan said, build his network. Some of his classmates from that class of 1973 are still his closest friends, and he gets together with them often and helps them through life's many travel and tribulations. Jim laments not being here today because he wanted to spend time with all of you, but particularly with Dan DeVos, who he has a close friendship with. But he also wanted to meet Mort Harris, who unfortunately can't be here today either. But he wanted to meet Mort, even though they've never met. He admires and loves Mort because he's heard so many great things about Mort's success in the business world, his patriotism and his service to our country, and his support of the students here at Northwood University. These are the true heroes of this facility and of our university. And we can't thank Helen DeVos and her family, the DeVos family, and Jim and Cece Coons and Mort Harris enough for their private support to make these a reality. And I was going to talk about Mort in a few minutes when we moved inside, but maybe I'll do it really quickly now, and then we'll cut the ribbon and let you see the signage. I hope we can do this fast enough. But many of you have heard about Mort Harris, but you might not have had the opportunity to meet him. He is an extraordinary individual, and he personifies the words hero, patriot, philanthropist, and influencer. In 1939, while taking classes at Wayne State University, he answered the call of duty and enlisted in the United States Army Air Corps. And he became an officer and a very highly decorated pilot. During his time fighting in World War II, Mort earned the nickname of the Berlin Kid in recognition of his 33 successful missions flying B-17 Flying Fortress aircraft behind enemy lines, ultimately resulting into the strategic bombing of Berlin. Twice his plane was shot down and had to be rescued at sea. And he was the lead pilot of many bombing missions and the only airman to successfully complete 8 bombing missions over Berlin. For valor in combat, he received 3 U.S. Distinguished Flying Crosses, 6 Air Medals, 1 Presidential Citation, the Polish Medal of Honor, and the French Legion of Honor Medal, all in recognition of his rare heroism. by a young man who at that time was in his very early 20s. After the war, armed with an entrepreneurial spirit, Mort created tens of thousands of jobs, helping individuals and families, communities to thrive and grow. And talk about giving back. Mort's business success, he says, can be attributed to hard work, unique ideas, and the counsel and input he's received from partners and mentors and advisors. Instilled with those beliefs, he started and owned or co-owned many companies, including the Mercier Corporation, a manufacturer of metallurgical products, Erie Coke and Chemical Company, Euroad, an over-the-road trucking company that provided logistics in Poland after the war, and most famously, Mort co-founded the auto supply giant American Axle and Manufacturing. Mort, you truly personify the Northwood idea. Over the years, he has quietly donated and made an impact on the arts, on healthcare, and on education. And in 2018, he was recognized by this university as one of our outstanding business leaders in recognition of his success, his humility, his kindness, and his charity. Today, we want to express our gratitude and appreciation for Mort's philanthropy and for his positive impact that he's had on Northwood University. And Mort, I'd like to propose, we have Mort watching here on a video cam right in front of us. Mort, I'd like to propose a new nickname for you today, and that would be the Northwood Kid. For your contribution to furthering the success of our students and giving them the opportunity to follow in your footsteps and fulfill their mission in business and in life. So thank you, Mort, for all you do and have done and continue to do for Northwood University. Now, when we move inside, which we're going to need to do momentarily, you will see the plaque in the lobby area for all three of these donors, but the plaque for Mort is right above the beautiful fireplace that our students so love to sit around. So at this time, I'd like to ask your help in counting down so that our colleagues can drop the covers on these two buildings and we can see the naming of our two new facilities at Northwood University. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, it almost worked. They've been practicing that for a couple of days, actually. It's probably the fact that they got so wet this morning that caused that one to get hung up. But as you can see on my left, Helen DeVos Hall. On my right, Jim Coons Hall. And please come in and join us for tours in the new North Village. First, if we could maybe unveil the plaque for Mort Harris. One of our students can help us to remove the cover on that. Please, if you would. Yes. Hey! Mort, if you didn't know, is 99 plus years old and has some health challenges today. He couldn't be with us, although he intended to be with us. And I was with him on Sunday, and he was quite sure he was going to make it, but he will be here shortly to see this place that he has helped to create. But we really appreciate his support, the support of the DeVos family, and the support of Jim and Cece Coons to make this a reality. So to cut the ribbon on this new building, I would ask all of our trustees that are here, if you would come forward. And Mitch, would you join us? And Gretchen, if you will join us also. And I think we have enough scissors to get everybody to be a part of the ribbon cutting. Thank you. You're welcome to correct it. Oh yeah, Katie, where's Katie from Gulfshall? She didn't have to go back to grad school classes, did she? Dr. Fairbairn, I hope you didn't force her to go back. Well, all right, if Katie's not here, let's just, we'll go forward. But on behalf of all the students, particularly, and of all of Northwood University, we want to thank our donors and friends that have made this North Village housing, Helen DeVos Hall, Jim Coons Hall, and the Mort Paris lobby a reality. Thank you to all of you. Shall we?